Welcome to my life. Welcome to my life. Today we want to cook. Yes, live cooking. This is, I think, the first time that I'm having a live cooking. And guess what I'm going to cook? I'm going to cook a typical Nigerian soup. And this morning I talked about comfort food. So this soup is a comfort food for me and my family. All right, me and my husband, whenever we eat this food, we feel like, oh no, we remember home, we remember Nigeria, and it gives that satisfaction. So today I want to cook one of our comfort soup, which is Egusi soup. I'm going to cook it live. So if you are not Nigerian, please and please watch carefully and ask me question. Although I'm missing out on some ingredients because I live in the Netherlands and some ingredients you cannot find them easily. So yeah, but we'll still cook it. All right, we'll still cook it. So please watch this video from the beginning to the end if you want to know how to cook this soup, and I trust you to get the method very well. There are different methods of cooking this soup, but this particular method I want to use is the most common method. Now, when we want to cook this soup, what do we do first? We have all kinds of ingredients for this soup. This is the real egusi. This is the real egusi. I don't know if you can see it well. This egusi is quite fatty, yes, and it's also rich in protein. And you can pair it with other ingredients like your paprika, tomato, onion, and also your different assortment of meat and your vegetable. So this is how the egusi looks like. Like I said, it is quite fatty, so it has this kind of buttery feel in the hand when you feel it. Okay, so this is what we call the egusi. So this is like, will I say, the main ingredients for the soup. Yes, even though we are still going to add other things. Like I said, we use paprika, we use onions and tomato also, and we use vegetables. I've already diced the vegetable. This is spinach. All right, welcome everybody. So today, how do you do? Greetings from Amsterdam. I'm fine. Hello. Goedemiddag. Hoe gaat het met u? Yeah. So I'm also living in Netherlands, but today I'm cooking Nigerian soup. I talked about comfort food this morning. So this is like a comfort soup for me from Nigeria. So I want to cook it live. So if you want to learn how to cook this soup, please continue to watch this video. Ja, goedemiddag, het gaat goed. Prima, het gaat goed met mij ook. Dank u wel. So, without wasting time, the first thing I'm going to do is to cook the meat. You see, we use assortment of meat when we want to cook soup in Nigeria. So this is pork. I bought it in the supermarket. I've cut it into small pieces. So we want to first of all cook our meat and make a stock from it. That stock is very important. And you see, like I said, in Nigeria, when we want to cook soup, our comfort soup, we always put different assortments. So this is chicken, this is pork, and I'm also going to add this fish. You see this particular fish, it gives it a very wonderful aroma. All right, it gives it a very wonderful aroma and taste. We call it the catfish. By the way, my mom brought this fish for me when she came to visit me some weeks back. All right, she brought it from Nigeria, so it's I don't know, I don't want it to finish, but this is the last one. So this fish also, we actually use it to make the egusi soup also, and I'm going to pieces the fish and put it in the soup as I'm cooking. All right, I don't like fish so much. Oh, so you can actually skip the fish. Yes, you can skip the fish. You can skip the fish and use just your meat, chicken, your pork, or your beef, or any other meat that you like. You can skip fish if you don't like fish. What is that? Okay, this is a catfish. This is a catfish, and it gives it a kind of inviting aroma and inviting taste. It is actually dried, well dried, and you can see it's well dried. I've had it in my house for several weeks now, almost 3 months now, and it's still perfect. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is to put some spices in my meat to spice up my meat. And you know, the interesting thing about the way I cook is that I usually do have a mix of my spices here. You know, there was a time I showed you a video of all the spices I use. I use turmeric, ginger, garlic, onions. You know, I showed you a number: oregano, rosemary, and the like. So I usually put them in a mixture so that I don't have to be, pouring about 10 different spices into my food. So you can also do that as well. You just have to try it 1, 2, 3 times to see the mixture that comes out perfectly for the taste that you love. All right, so this one is my mixture of spices, and I've already mixed oregano, nutmeg. Even I added nutmeg, I added rosemary and thyme, curry, different spices that you can think of. So now I'm going to spice up my meat. This is my meat. I've cut the meat into small pieces and I've rinsed it before coming live. So I'm going to add about 2 spoons of the spices. Okay, when you spice your meat very well, you have a very tasteful broth, and that broth is very important for your soup. All right, so I'm going to add little salt. I'm not a salt person, so, and then I'm going to add this crude mix aroma. I like it when I'm cooking meat because it has a nice taste that it gives to my meat. And then the last but not the least I'm going to add is this one. Is, even though they say it's for keep, it's for chicken, but I still use it for pretty much a good number of meats. So I just have that. And then now the final thing I always like to put in my meat when I'm cooking is onions, fresh onions. Even if I use onion powder, I still like to use the fresh onions. So I'm still going to cut the fresh onions into it. Hello everyone that is just joining me. Thank you for joining me. Please do well to follow. I'm cooking Nigerian soup, and we call it Egusi. We use this soup with other swallow foods. Swallow food, you know what swallow food is? Foods that you don't chew, you swallow it. So there are different swallow meals that we have in Nigeria. We have eba. Eba is from cassava. We have fufu. Fufu is also from cassava. We have, semo and the like. So we have a whole bunch of swallow meals. We even make some from yam. We make some from, other root crops. Even from potato, we make swallow meals from it. So yes, I think it's going to be delicious. Yes, it's going to be delicious. We use a lot of ingredients. So I've rinsed my onions now, and I'm just going to cut it into small pieces into the meat because the broth is very important. We are going to use the broth when we are cooking the soup. All right, so I want the broth, the meat, to already be tasty. When the meat is almost done, I'm going to add in the chicken and I'm going to add in the fish so that all the aroma comes into the broth, and then we are still going to use the broth in cooking the soup. So just continue with me and you will love it. So for the meat, we are just going to add just a little water, just enough to cook the meat and leave little stock for us. You can see. So I'll put on the stove now, and then we start the cooking proper. I'm going to cook the meat for, let's say, 12 minutes, 15 minutes. I really like tender meat, so yes, I'm going to cook it to be a good eatable texture. Yes, so now as we are cooking the meat and having our stock, we are going to start preparing this paprika, onions, and tomato that we are going to add to our egusi. I think it is going to, okay, I prefer for beef instead of fish, but that is my opinion. Okay, yeah, use whatever you prefer. All right, yeah. Chicken I like, okay, yeah, chicken, I love chicken also. But for the egusi soup, like I said, we always like to use assortment of meat and fish and everything together. I think it's our Nigerian way of eating. We always like to use different assortments. Can you hear me well? Because I'm a little bit far away from the camera. So now I want to prepare the paprika, the tomato, and the onions. I'm going to blend it. When you are blending your paprika, onions, and tomato, you don't have to make it smooth, all right? It's not compulsory you make it smooth. You can just blend it in such a way that it's coarse, it's not smooth. Yes. So we are going to cut the remaining of the onions also and blend it alongside. Most of the time when I cook, when I make my egusi, I always like to put mushroom. But this time around, I'm not going to put mushroom. I always like to blend mushroom into it. There's what we call iru in Nigeria. We always add it to this soup. Locust beans. That locust beans gives it a kind of traditional aroma. But I don't have the locust beans because, I'm living in the Netherlands and we don't have access to many of these ingredients. But most times when I want to cook my egusi here in the Netherlands, I use the brown mushroom. And this brown mushroom gives it this locust beans vibe. So that's why I actually use mushroom in my egusi soup, because of the locust beans vibe that it usually gives to it. So if you don't have access to locust beans, you can always use the brown mushroom, okay? So that's a tip for my Nigerian people that are living abroad that want to cook this soup. Use your locust beans, or you use the brown mushroom to replace the locust beans if you don't have access to it. Today I'm not going to use the mushroom. So this is the onion, paprika, and tomato we are going to use. Let me also cut my tomato into two. Let me put on the shot. Yeah. So for this egusi, I'm using two medium-sized tomato, about 2-3 paprika because one of the paprika is very small, and 1.5 onions. So I'm going to blend it. I'm going to wash it and blend it now. And like I said, I'm not going to make it smooth. Yes. So now I'm going to blend when you want to blend this, it needs just little water. You don't want to make it too what will I call it now? Too runny. You want it to be thick. So you pulse it and you shake it in order to blend. Because I don't want to add much water, I'm going to be shaking it and blending it. So like I said, don't make it smooth. You can see, don't make it smooth like you want to cook your stew. Just make it like gritty. All right, so that one is ready for our egusi. Now we can put away our blender because we don't need it anymore. Now we are going to put our egusi in a bowl. I'm going to cook about 4 spoons of this because I have, you know, a lot of mouth to feed. I have three big boys to feed with myself. Oops. Please preserve your egusi very well. Don't allow moisture to get into it. Brown mushroom smells very good if you bake it. Wow, that's interesting to know. I've never tried baking brown mushroom, but I'll try it. I will try it because you said it's good. So now our meat is really getting cooked. We have 6 minutes to go. You can see it. Maybe I'm going to bring the camera closer. I'm going to put the chicken. I've already air fried the chicken. I want all the aroma to come together. So I'm going to prepare the fish, the catfish. I'm going to pieces it and put it into the stock. So welcome to those people that are just joining me. We are cooking one of my comfort food, which is egusi soup from Nigeria. And I'm still preparing the meat. Very soon I'll start the cooking proper. Some people used to soak this catfish in hot water, but for my own, I don't need to because it is really soft and tender, so I don't need to. So I'm just going to pieces it. I've pieced it, you can see. I'm going to pieces it, then rinse and put it in the meat stock, all right? So now our catfish is ready to go inside. If you're in my house right now, you are going to be salivating already. We have 4 minutes for this meat stock to be assorted meat stock to be ready, and then we start the cooking in earnest. I'm going to bring the camera close so that you can see what is happening here. start the cooking of the egusi soup in proper. Hello, something you are nostalgic for, blah blah blah. Yeah, let me know in the comment section what you are nostalgic for. Like I said, thank you very much. You gave a like. Dank u, dank u, dank u, dank u. Ik ben Nederlands, maar ook mijn God, ik hou van je stem. Dank u, ik hou van je ook. Dank u, dank u, dank u. So, don't worry, one of these days I'm going to make food vlog, and I'm going to do it in Netherlands. Hoera! Thank you. So today we are cooking the egusi. The egusi is a Nigerian soup. So I'm going to use this pot to prepare the soup in proper, this pot. So what are we going to do first? We put the pot on the stove. You make it dry, like inside of the pot you make it dry. All right, and then when it's dried we put this palm oil. You can see the palm oil. Je kan al goed Nederlands praten, maar hoe weet je Nederlands? Ja, ik woon in Nederlands nu bijna 7 jaar. So, ik ga naar Nederlands school en ik leer Nederlands op school. Ja, voor bijna 2 jaar. Yes, thank you. So this is my palm oil. When my pot is very dry, I'm going to pour. Okay, oh yeah. Ik woon in Netherlands en ik moet Nederlands praten. voor integratie. Yeah, so I'm going to pour in the palm oil once my pot is dry, and from there, please, when you want to use your palm oil to cook, make sure that you open the door, because your smoke detector is going to make a lot of noise if you don't open the door. So I'm going to open the door now. Okay, whoa, you have been practicing for a long time. Yeah, ik moet oefenen. Oefening is belangrijk. Yeah, you can feel to learn. I think that he is not Dutch. I can see it by writing. Okay, I didn't see. Okay, get problem. Oefening is good for your good Netherlands spreken and praten. Okay, so now it moved the door opening. I have to open the door so that my fire alarm does not come up. So now my stock meat is done. Yes, so I want to put in my palm oil, and then we can put in the next and the next and the next. So you allow your palm oil to get really hot. And then from the stock of your meat, you put a little in your egusi. You make a paste with the stock and the egusi. You can see you make a paste. This egusi is the main ingredient. We call it melon seed in English, but in Nigeria we call it egusi. So you make a paste from the egusi like this. Like I said, please open your doors and your window when you want to use palm oil. The palm oil is hot, then you now start putting your egusi in balls. You can see. Then you can turn on the stove down a little so that your egusi does not burn. You can see the balls. Then you start putting it. So is your stock water that you are going to use to mix your melon, your egusi, into balls, and then you are going to fry it in your hot palm oil. All right, it's going to get like toasted, something like that. All right, so you are going to toast that for some minutes, maybe like 3 to 5 minutes, or until your egusi is well fried, depending on the quantity that you are cooking. So let me move the camera closer so you can see what I'm doing. Can you see what I'm cooking? Let me know if you can see it. Can you see? The palm oil has been incorporated into the egusi, into the melon seed, and we are toasting it. When we toast it properly, the taste, the aroma, they are forming. All these things are what forms the taste and the aroma. I want to eat it so bad. Oh, I wish you were close by me. I would have told you to come and have a taste of it. So now when your egusi is well fried, you can increase the intensity of your heat. When you increase the intensity of your heat, you can see that my egusi and my palm oil has incorporated well. Now what is the next thing I'm going to add? I'm going to add this, my blended paprika, onion, and tomato. All right, so that's what we are going to add next before we add our cooked meat, fish, broth, and the likes into it. So our egusi is well toasted. I'm going to close the door because the smoke from the palm oil is gone now. So now we are going to add our blended then you mix everything. For this soup, you don't just add water unnecessarily. We want something that is, you know, compact together. We don't want watery egusi soup. So that's why you see that when I was mixing the stock with my egusi powder, I didn't add water. Okay, so now in order to get all my egusi out of this bowl, I can use a little water. Use it to get all my ingredients out. Please, you have to be careful the way you use water. Okay, you have to. Otherwise, your egusi will not come together very well. So this little water I'm adding, I'm going to allow it to dry with it as it cooks. So now we are going to allow the egusi and the soup to mix together, the tomato, paprika, and the onion that we blended together. We are going to allow everything to cook together for the next 5 to 7 minutes before we add our meat and fish stock. All right, so we will still need to add some spices, all right, to the egusi, and I'm going to only add this one because remember, if you started with me on this live, remember I have really spiced up my meat. So the only thing I'm going to add to my egusi left is this crayfish. We use crayfish and it has this aroma and taste that it gives to our soup. All right, we usually use it for egusi soup. So this crayfish, this crudel mix aroma, and salt is only what is left for me to add to sweeten up the egusi soup. So nothing more, nothing less. After adding the meat and the stock, after adding the meat, I'm confusing you. Please ask your question. Why I don't know you? Okay, so after we allow this to cook, we add our meat stock, then we taste it and see if the taste is perfect. If the taste is perfect, you don't need to add more salt, you don't need to add any other spices, all right? But you will still need to add your crayfish because it's part of the ingredient. But when you add your stock and the taste is perfect, please do not go further to add salt or to add spices into it. Do you understand? Yes. So that is what I'm trying to explain. So now look at that. Look at that. Everything is coming together nicely. So wow, I'm also even salivating myself. You can see. So now we are going to add in our stock, all our assorted meats. Like I told you, in Nigeria we use assortment of meat, different meats, chicken, beef, pork, fish, everything in this soup. So tell me why this soup is not going to be tasty when you use all assortment of fish, of meat, of spices. So you can see. So now that we have added our stock, we are going to taste it, whether we need to add a little more salt or a little more spices, and see if the taste is already, you know, perfect and good to go. So for me, I feel I need a little more spicy, which is the crude mix aroma. You can see it has onions, garlic, and I don't know what more they added to this, but it's more like in the roots family. So I added a little more, and then I'm going to put in my crayfish right now. In the next 5 to 10 minutes, we will be done. So add your crayfish generously. The aroma of the soup is already out. If you see the soup, you will see how thick it is. You can see how thick the soup is. Egusi soup is not always prepared watery, so be very careful. Like I said earlier on, never make your egusi soup watery. So you taste it again. Now the taste is really good. The salt is perfect, the spices is perfect, everything is perfect. So now the next thing we are going to do is allow everything to simmer together. All right, you can lower the heat. Instead of putting it on 9, I'll put it on 7 now. Cover it for a bit, allow it to cook a bit for about 5 minutes, and then the next thing I'm going to add, which is the final step, is the spinach. In Nigeria, a lot of people use the vegetable we call ugu, but I am using spinach because that is what I can find in Netherlands. Okay, thank you very much for joining. Thank you. Please subscribe to the channel, please, because I'll be doing more live cooking. Before you go, subscribe, drop a comment, like, share. So this is the last step to add the vegetable, but we are going to allow this to get done. How can you know when your egusi soup is done? You will see that the palm oil begins to flow up. You will see that the palm oil begins to come to the surface. All right, that's how you know. If you see it, our palm oil is coming to the surface already. So in the next couple of 1 to 2 minutes, we are going to put in our vegetable. Once we put in our vegetable, we are just going to put the stove on the lowest heat, so that it is the steam of the egusi that will cook the vegetable. We don't want it even to be soft. We don't want the vegetable to be soft. We still want the vegetable to be crunchy. All right, so you can see our egusi soup, very thick. Please always make it thick. Always make it thick, because we are using this vegetable with a dough meal. You don't want it to be watery. All right, we are going to eat this egusi soup with oats swallow. Oats. I'm going to make the old swallow also live, so you are going to see it. All right. So now that we are done with the soup, I'm going to clean up some of the So now to make our oat swallow that we are going to take with the egusi, you have to boil water. You have to boil water and blend your oats. So now our egusi soup is ready. You can see that all the oil, you can see that the oil is on the surface already. That's how you know when your egusi soup is ready. So we are going to pour in our spinach. We are going to pour in our spinach now. We all know that spinach, you can be using a bowl full of spinach, it's going to disappear very soon. All the big bowl of spinach is just going to disappear into the soup. So now I'm going to incorporate, once I incorporate the vegetable into the egusi, I'm going to turn the stove to the lowest temperature. So that the steam of the egusi is what we cook the vegetable. We want to retain all the vitamins of the vegetable. I don't know if you can see me well. The lighting of this kitchen is not so encouraging. So allow the vegetable to be well incorporated into the egusi. So you can see what we have here. You can see it. So we only have to allow the steam to cook the vegetable while we put off the stove. Now for the swallow, I'm going to make the oat swallow. I'm going to make the oat swallow, and I'm going to blend the oats. I'm going to blend the oats because the oats that I have, you see the type of oats that I use for the swallow. You can see it is the regular oats that we have in the shop. So I'm going to blend it into powder and use it to make the swallow that we are going to use to eat the egusi soup. So now my water is well boiled, so I'm going to put a little in the pot, and then I'll blend my oat. Still in my blender one more time. So So once your oat is blended into powder, then you can make it into a solid. This swallow is better than any other swallow that I know, all right? Especially for those of you that likes to eat swallow food. So I want to take my turning stick that I'm going to use to turn it. So this your oat powder, you put it in hot water and then you begin to turn it until it is well cooked and formed into a dough. A dough, the way you make your dough for your what will I call it, for your pastries. Yes, the way you make your thick dough for your pastries, that is what you want to make from your oats, from your oat powder. All right, so if you get the regular oat from the store, you can blend it into powder, then you cook it in boiling water, and then you have successfully made swallow meal for yourself. All right, in less than 5 minutes your oat swallow is ready. So this is almost ready now. You can add little hot water to cook it a bit. You can see it. That is what we are going to use to eat our egusi. So you leave it to cook slightly, and then you are going to scoop it out with this your spatula, or what do they call it? All right, but when you want to scoop it out, you have to spray your spatula with some oil so that it's going to come out smooth. You can see. Yes, so that's how we do it. Then you can serve it in your plate. You can serve it in your plate and then enjoy it as a family. Please, you can make your dough, your swallow meals, light, or you can make it thick the way you want. If you want it, way much lighter, then you add a little bit more water and cook it. If you want it thicker, then you add a little bit more oats and cook. So now our oat swallow is ready, is done. How can you know if your oat swallow is done? The color changes from the white that I showed you into something like this, into something a little bit brownish. That's when you know that yes, my oat swallow is done. Then it comes together as a thick slurry. You can see? So that's when you know. So now I can turn off the stove, and then I can use this my spatula to mold them and bring it to my plate. So you can see, this is our oat swallow. This is our oat swallow. And now I want to dish out our soup. We want to dish out the soup that we are going to use to take the oat swallow. Now I have to get another spoon to dish out the soup. So you can see you put the fish and the meat generously, and then with your oat swallow you pair them together. How do you pair them? You take some quantity of oats and then you take it with the soup like this, and then very tasty. Yeah, that's how we eat it. It's a local meal from Nigeria, and that is how we enjoy it. All right, so go ahead, if you want to try something new, go ahead and try this soup and with the swallow, and I bet you will enjoy it. The oats, the oatmeal is very healthy for you. It has less and less starch. It's better than the semo, it's better than the eba. So if you want to try this, go ahead and go and try it. Thank you very much for joining my live cooking. Until my live cooking time, please enjoy. By the way, we eat our swallow meals with our hand. We use our hand to eat our swallow meals. We don't use fork or knife for swallow. We only use fork and knife and spoon for rice, for beans. But for our swallow meals, we use our hand to take the swallow and then we eat it. So that's how we enjoy it. And yeah, thank you for joining. Until next live. Bye bye.